All right, so it's always a pleasure to talk to an audience where I know there are parents to be, because at the end of the day, if you are a parent, the most important thing to you is your family. It's your family's health, happiness, and success that drives you forward day in and day out. But what's so interesting, and as you look at this picture next to me, sort of the vision, I call this your dream home. We all have a dream of what happy, healthy, and successful looks like in our homes, right? In fact, that vision, that dream, we have to own it, because each of us has our own definition of what happy looks like, what healthy looks like, and what successful looks like. And boy, in the beginning, remind yourself, remember those beginning days, maybe before your children came along, maybe as you were expecting your first. Man, that vision was crystal clear. You talked to your partner, your spouse, about what it was going to be like. You got the nursery together. You went shopping. People threw you parties. You celebrated that life that was on its way, right? That vision, you saw it very clearly before you. And then it's time then to raise these sweet children that we bring into our homes, whether delivering them or adopting them. All of a sudden, that vision of happiness, health, and success, it gets lost in the shuffle of everyday life. And that vision of your dream home, it fades. How do I know this? I know this because I remember. When we talk to thousands of parents and we're asking them, how are you feeling about your family life? Are you rocking? Let me tell you how parents working part-time, full-time, stay-at-home, how they're feeling. 2/3 of them aren't feeling satisfied in their family life. Although it's the most important thing you will ever do if you're a parent, they don't feel like they know what it takes to be successful. They don't feel like they have the skills. They don't feel in control. Bottom line, they don't feel like they're thriving. And that is so unacceptable because it is the most precious. Your family is your greatest treasure. You might look at me and say, hey, how do you know that? I remember, you guys, I remember. Does this picture bring back memories to you moms and dads in the audience? I was so ready for Jonathan, my firstborn. In fact, my friends told me I was going to be great. My mom told me I was a natural, right? Well, I wouldn't say great or natural words I would use to describe how I felt when I brought home my super duper healthy, almost 10-pound baby when I walked in the door with Jonathan. I was wiped. It had been about 3 days since I had slept. I was emotionally, mentally, and physically so exhausted. I remember walking in to our little townhouse and my legs felt like noodles. And I remember sitting down thinking, wow, what have I created? I remember that moment. I told you I was wiped. I hadn't slept in days. But what was interesting was all of that anxiety, all of my excitement. My baby was born. He was healthy. He's here. All of that was getting caught up in fears, in excitement, in emotions, in hormones. And let me explain what my first night was like when I brought sweet Jaji. We call him, certainly refer to him as Jaji now. I remember so being afraid that he was going to suffocate. In fact, like all babies, lots of babies, in fact, majority of my 7 babies, were sort of coughing up all of that fluid that Jonathan had lived in for the last 9, 10 months. Well, I thought he was going to choke and suffocate on all that fluid. So I watched him sleep all night long. Day 4 now, you guys, where I hadn't slept. I was convinced that if I didn't watch him sleep, he might suffocate. And so I was armed with the bulb syringe. How many of you parents remember? Yeah, hands. The bulb syringe, mine was light blue. I have 7 bulb syringes. I've kept them. I squeegeed Jonathan's nose, and then I disinfected it. And then I squeegeed his mouth, and then I disinfected it all night long. By about 2 in the morning, I called the hospital, I kid you not, and I said to them, am I doing everything I can, everything right to keep my baby alive? And the nurses assured me I was going to be fine. I remember looking in the mirror that night thinking, how am I going to keep this up? How am I going to sustain this sweet baby? That natural, right? I was a natural. Well, guess what, you guys? I thought natural meant easy. And I felt totally duped. Here I was, this successful, college-educated professional. My girlfriends were having babies. My sisters were. What was up with me? How come I wasn't feeling rock star? I expected it. I planned for it. I had a plan for my birthing experience. What I wasn't prepared for was what came after. As I look at your faces, I know you get it. Because I know whether you're a mother or whether you're a father, you remember we were all there. Again, what is so wacky is the most important thing we'll ever do with our lives is to raise these children, but we leave it up to chance. Trial and error, making it up as you go, day in, day out, doing your best, trial by fire. Well, guess what? I decided to be a stay-at-home mother. It was what I chose to do all day, and I was not about to wallow in this thing called motherhood. I was determined to be successful. I wanted to feel successful. So, to solve for my future, I looked at my past, and I looked where I found great success. How did I do it? How did I achieve it? And I decided I would mimic that process. Well, following graduation from college, I was hired by Eli Lilly, a pharmaceutical company. And Lilly took an economics and a German major, trained the heck out of me. 6 weeks, intense coursework, 8 to 5 every single day, tests, studying, interaction. They continuously invested in my success. I had quarterly marketing meetings, district meetings, one-on-one meetings with my manager to ensure that I was successful in this new role called sales representative. Lilly never let up. They armed me with strategies in time management, in communication, presentation. They continuously invested in my success, and guess what? It worked. I was a successful pharmaceutical sales representative. Well, hello, Amy Hilbert Davis. Those days are gone. You're now a mother. And this, honestly, this moment, this epiphany inspired me. I began to find development, whatever I felt like I needed at the time, to make me feel happier, healthier, and more successful in this brand new role, this brand new job called motherhood, this brand new profession, because that is the shift I had to make from something I was going to do every day to a profession where I had to build myself. I had to build my skills. And guess what? I started feeling more effective, more efficient, and I was having more fun. And then, 18 months later, I had another baby. And then 18 months later, I had another baby. And then 18 months later, I had another baby. I was getting good at this thing called family. And it was obvious to people watching me. I had men, women, whether I was at mass, at the grocery store, at the park, coming up to me saying, "How did you just get your kid to do that? I can't believe it. Your baby's crying, your other son is running away from the park, and you're not screaming." Guess what, guys? I had a plan. I had roles, I had responsibilities. I knew what I expected of myself, and so did my kids. This thing called motherhood, this thing called parenthood, although just like you're thinking, the hardest thing we're ever going to do, I was feeling successful. I went from a very clear vision of my dream family to one that got lost. And now I can tell you today, my dream is right here. These are the people that define me. My husband, Randy, of 22 years, my children, Jonathan, Evelyn, Connor, Charlotte, Oliver, Louisa, and Anderson. Guys, this is me. This is who I am. This is my dream, and I do my best every day. I plan for it. I build it with strategies, best practices, and I live it. And that's the message today. Each of you, when you look at this picture, stop for a sec. Close your eyes. Please, everybody, I want your eyes closed. What's your dream? Who are the people in your lives that mean the most to you? Your partners, your spouses, your children, your mothers, your fathers, your family. Because at the end of the day, okay, you can open now. At the end of the day, you guys, we want to look back in 20 years and we want to say, man, parenthood, whew, hardest, toughest time of our life, but you know what? I was good at it. I felt successful. That, to me, is family life success. Thank you so much for listening to me, for your time.